Look, guys, I guess I deleted that video with along with the other videos that I just did. I know my offline, I know you guys are seeing this. Whatever the Spirit is saying is injustice, I forgive it. I know that there's energy out there that is wicked, that have done some really bad things. Really bad things. Now, if we're talking about people that really are like giants and things like that in the earth, then they need to be taken care of. I get that. But there's a reason why there's something going off on the inside of me for this person that's just aching. I often talk to religious people on this channel, okay, about Paul. I had such a hard time with that guy. And yet, there's so much that Paul says that I get. But there's also, you know, I'm glad for my journey. It's led me here, even in the murderous stuff that's happened. But you know, Paul, like I said, Paul was a murderer, or at least we can't prove that he existed, but there's writings about this person, okay? And those kind of things in society really do take place in society. So and I know he's very controversial, because I was like I just said, there came a time in my life that I really had to test some things. And I know that there's a lot of people here that have even eaten other people. Unjust. Very unjust things have happened. But the divine is the one who makes those decisions when it's time for something to die. Okay? If you've murdered someone, to go out and murder someone. People do that with their mouth. People push people up against the wall to even put other people up in their mouth to have to fight back. That's what a war looks like. There's not one person that hasn't done something that's deserving of some kind of, I don't know. Everybody's done something that's been unjust. Maybe some on different scales, worse than others. Of course, but that's all for our testing. And if reaping and sowing and all this stuff that we know is the truth, and you come back around to wake up again and evolve again in the next lifetime, what makes you think that next time that the Spirit go, well, you didn't have any compassion in the last lifetime, so this time I'll have you come back and be like the other person was? Then what are you going to do? Then you're going to sit there and go through everything that you put the other person through in this lifetime. If you look at things like that, you have a different perspective of how you treat people. That's why we shouldn't be judging people like that. Now, we have judges in the earth that's different, of course. I think you know where I'm coming from. Everything that I went through, I look back and go, what in the world did I do to deserve this? But at the same time, like I said, I would have fought tooth and nail and told you you're wrong if you would ever told me anything about reincarnation. And I totally believe it now. Totally believe it now. And so some of the stuff that I've found myself going through had a lot to do with probably things that DNA that had been passed down. Generations of things that even you find yourself going through. So don't get so proud and think, well, I'm pretty dang good. I really had a great life. Well, then you got to reap really beautiful things in this lifetime. But if you were proud in this lifetime, well, I'd be buckling up, baby. Because when you rise again, it might not be that great. Were you really proud and superficial? Did you stick your nose up in the air at people? And we don't get away with any of it. I don't care who we are. It's Judgment Day. We've been under Judgment Day for a while now. The trumpet's been blowing. Fixing to go into 2020. It's the 20th High Arcana, right? Yes, you'd have to say so, yes. Perspective of things changes everything when you have more of an understanding of how deep things really are. Is the cup half full or half empty? It's both. It's both. You'd have to say it's both. Who's right then? Well, the true judge gets to say what's right and what's wrong and what's just and what's unjust. At the same time, we really are in this right now moment, real time. And I paid my time. I'm of the house of truth. And for whatever reason why I had to go through what I went through, it was to teach, because that's what my sign is. Because I believe in the great creator, and signs follow those who believe, right? Yes, you would have to say yes. Because there are signs everywhere, but we don't go looking for the signs, yet they are there. It's complex, but it's not confusing. It's just that it's deep, it's deep, it's deep, it's deep. Some people went crazy in their mind because they drank blood. We have writings that that was going to happen. Prophecy of that. Symbolically and spiritually. Because initially it all goes back to the spirit anyway. Whatever's happening and why ever I seen that injustice card and it ended up coming out because of what people have done to me, and it has been an injustice thing. It really, really has. Bad stuff. And I know people feel bad about that. They don't know how to approach it, and I've been so shattered on the inside at the same time. I mean, I would never want to go back through whatever I went through this time around. At the same time, it was worth it all. It was worth it all. It's like having a baby. It's like, oh my God, get this baby out of me. And it's like the travail and the pain and pushing it out. But once it's over, it's just like, it's worth it all. And that's kind of how I see my life. It was worth it all. That's why I don't hate my enemy. That's why, you know, I don't want to be an unforgiving person, because I realize, and I've always known and realized, if I don't forgive, I'll never be forgiven. And I've always been one to forgive of any kind of injustice in my life that's ever occurred. And I've also had times where I've went through things where I've held a grudge for a moment, but it's process. That's why I've said before in any of my readings that if you're there now and you've just found yourself in a place where you're grieving, it's a process. Go through it. At the same time, if people are holding grudges year after year after year, I don't like that, and I'm going to address it every time. It's time to get over that stuff now. And if you can't, well, then you're just a lost cause, I guess. You're wicked. Then, and I guess you deserve whatever you get. And at the same time, I still grieve for people that way, because I just can't get it. Nobody's perfect. I don't care who you are, what you are, how big and bad you think you are. You're nothing, because just like that, your life can be taken from you. Just like that. We're seeing it right here on my table, how serious the divine is. You don't put your mouth on his people. Look, I picked up the deck, and it's a death card. And the spirit will back up what the spirit says. Because spirit is in his sons and his daughters. Don't you ever put your mouth on somebody who belongs to the great divine. Cost you every time. Every time. Don't you look at somebody and think, I heard so-and-so say. Well, right there, that's passed on information. What so-and-so said. Did you go find out for yourself? Did you hear it right out of the horse's mouth? It's craziness. And that's why people think they're animals and they're snakes and dogs and cats and stupidness. Your spirit. It's time for a new creation. You know, we got writings. I was thinking about this today, and the spirit was talking to me and reminded me of some writings of a prophecy, and I don't even remember where it's found in the old writings. The living word, the living word, the living. We got people who are living that are dead, and we got people that are living that are living. And those who have sold their soul to the devil and they're seared, then they've already lost their head. That's why they're crazy spiritually. And if you're feeling a pull to want a forgiveness, and you're feeling that you can accept that, then obviously then you have grace. Okay? But what was I thinking of? I just lost my train of thought there for a second. Give me a second here. I'm gonna pause it so I can think. It's not coming back to me, so anyway. If I think of it, then I guess I'll make another video. But anyway, I just wanted to address and extend healing to people, and to let people know that you can hate me, I guess, if you want. That makes you feel good. But you'll answer to the great creator of all things. I choose not to hate. I choose to forgive all of my days. And some people can't because they're chained. It's about integrity more than anything. It's not about being a player. Because I want to trap you. Need you like a lion in the den. I don't think so. You don't get to do that to the living. Can't sift me. It's funny, I was thinking today, because I got people say, hey. And I told somebody one day, I said, why don't you say hi to me? And they just like... And it's funny because hey and hi is the same thing. It's I am and I exist. And so when they say hey to me, and I didn't realize it until, you know, the spirit had been speaking to me about hiya. Hi. Yeah. And yeah is hey. And the other way. Go figure that one out. This is when he told me I was protected. He really meant it. Because he's got his hand upon his people marked there. His name is there. It's his name. Okay? And he's not going to give his fame away to anybody. And so people say, hey, they must be seeing Yah in you. The hey Yah. The beholding, the spirit of them all. Hey means behold. Not hey like I'm a cow that's going to chew on something. No. How dare you say that about my Father, the great spirit of all? You're saying, I behold the I am on the inside of you because you have the breath of life on the inside of you. That's powerful. That's powerful. You know, somebody said, hello today, and I just, no, I'm not in hell-o. I'm a daughter. Royalty is who his children are. Powerful to me. So you go ahead and just say hey and think that you're talking about hey like a cow, but you're actually beholding the great divine. Because the great divine told me last year, he said, I'm going to get my fame. And he deserves it all. That's why they got the writings to say that we can take our crowns, we're going to throw it at his feet. Absolutely, because he deserves it. We're nothing. We don't even exist without the great divine. It's the divine that is in us that exists. The breath of all things. That's why when he looks at us, he's looking at himself. And he goes, I look good. But he's not prideful. That's why he knocks the tower down. One thing about being prideful is you think that you're all that in a bag of chips, and you're not. And one thing about being confident is, I know who my daddy is. It's different. It's different. They can appear to look the same, but they're not. They're different. And, you know, people had a problem with me not saying Jesus anymore. Well, no offense to people that say Jesus, those of you who are religious, and I'm not religious, obviously, but I say Yasha or Yeshua. Why do I say that? Because of the Y. We know now that the Y is connected to protection and eternity. The J is only 1,500 years old. It grew a tail. The snake tail. And if your name has a J in it, I'm not going there. I'm making a point on something else, because there's something to vibration. And salvation is still salvation. There's different languages and way you can say it. You want to say Jesus, fine. I can still sing beautiful songs with the name Jesus. It still goes back to the meaning of salvation, but I like to say it my way. Yahshua, it just means salvation. But it does have that Y in there, and the Y, it secures the nail. The nail. It secures something. There's security there. Amazing. It's called protection forevermore in the spirit. And no, you know, it's so funny because the New Testament talks about Jesus, how they couldn't trap him. And I've said over and over on this channel that those who try to trap me got trapped. You cannot trap the spirit. When you understand that your spirit, how are you going to trap the spirit? You can't trap the spirit. He'll find a way where there seems to be no way. He'll use you right where you're at. Even let you go through and be so squeezed just to see what's in you. To even test himself, because he's got 7 spirits about himself. Well, the 25th letter is the 7. And he's a time outside of time, and he's in time and out. He's everything. You can't trap the true spirit. Wake up now, because you're from that spirit. You're no different, you're no better, or any less than anybody else. Only those who don't want to wake up and they want to go ahead and hunt and do their hunting and lay on their side and roar at the moon, and then they'll die. They have eternity that they'll just keep coming back, and they'll just be the test for everyone. That's what that devil energy is, okay? They're chained there. And unless you open yourself up to let them in this realm, because it is spiritual, all day long, every day. Even though you can touch this, it's spirit inside me. What kind of spirit are you about? Let's get the spirit. And they go to those ball games, and they're talking about the spirit. The spirit of what? Yeah, that's the spirit. The cheerleaders. Everything's spiritual. It's just that people aren't awakened, and their conscious mind isn't realizing that a lot of things they say, they're saying a lot of spiritual stuff every day. So these people that did what they did to me, I forgive you. I forgive you. I obviously, if I'm your judge, I guess I judged you to some degree, but I didn't judge you with my finger. The great divine of eternity is looking down on everything. That's why you and I can just rest and know that, okay, well, the vengeance of the Lord is the Lord's. The Lord's. All 12 of the Lords up there. But there's one Lord over all those Lords that see everything beyond that. And it's a mystery, and it's divine, and it's beautiful, and it's everything. And it's for us to keep waking up to every moment that we find ourselves in, to learn and to grow and to evolve. That's all it is. And until people wake up, they're never going to have mercy and grace for anyone. Okay? That's why I forgive. Now, Obviously, we have law enforcement and things like that that should be upright and do their job, and that we do have people that do need to be behind bars, okay? That's your job to do that. If that's your job, then you need to do what, that's your job. I respect your position if you're in the upright. Okay? The divine puts you there for that purpose, to be upright and to serve the people. Not to abuse your position. To be good judges in the earth. Who were the judges in the Old Testament? Dan, my brethren. Dan, DNA, Dan. Once you ask the Creator who you are, some people know who they are, some people don't know who they are. And it's not particularly your skin color either. And some people get off on that kind of stuff. And that's another reason why the divine keeps bringing that 88 stuff out, because it does go back to prejudice stuff. Those who are pure in what? Spirit. Oops, sorry. Those who are pure in spirit, not pure in flesh. Okay? We're spirit. We shall forever live again and again and again for eternity, and we're going to know a thing, and we're knowing it now. And the Father is teaching us, hey children, I got my name on you. Somewhere in you, if you belong to the Most High, you'll find it inside. Shalom, y'all.